Hello everybody, welcome back to some more Crystalline. Last time, Leanna got tangled up in some vines, and we were sworn to secrecy, and now the group is still looking to me for answers because we came back and she was all sorts of flustered. The group looks to me for answers. Yeah, nothing happened. Let's get going.
I concur. It would be advisable not to spend any more time than necessary here.
Alright, let's go.
Hoi poi.
Don't worry about it. Bungo shrugs as he hops onto my head. With Leanna leading the way, we continue moving forward. We continue down the path of the Earth Temple. Ooh. Click the icons in the displayed order. Fucking dark air, blue, blue, dark fire, bluegrass, blue fire. Why was I saying blue? I don't know. Instead of water, it was blue. We finally make it to the core of the temple. What the hell was that minigame for? The center of the temple is a lot different than the rest of the place. For one, it's not crumbling apart. Birds flitter across the sky, and there is a lush greenery all around. Sitting in the middle of the garden is a beautiful woman. She's an elf. Her dress is the same green as the plants, and there is something about her that feels warm, inviting, and alive. The sounds and voices of my friends fade away as I'm filled with the tranquility and beauty of the nature surrounding me. She raises her hand, and at her touch I feel a sense of calm and at peace, just like from the fire temple. I feel revitalized, the effect of the energy absorption. As more energy absorbed, the more translucent the elemental becomes, until, with a small smile, she disappears. Slowly, the scenic nature view fades from my senses, and I'm pulled back to the crumbling ruins of the temple, and curious faces of my friends. Amy and Leanna hover by me as the Pongo looks up at me from the ground.
Hoi? His pupil dilation is returning to normal.
Are you feeling okay? You completely zoned out there.
I nod. I still feel dazed as the remnants of the tranquility begin to fade.
Did you see the Earth Elemental?
I did. This time, though, it felt different. When there was energy I was channeling into me at the fire temple, I felt a rush of passion and strength. This time it was more a sense of peace and calmness.
I can confirm you did absorb a substantial quantity of energy. However, your mention of feeling emotions based on absorbing differing elemental energy is quite fascinating. It is something which has never been reported before, given that humans of Terra cannot absorb energy. Once your senses have fully returned to normal, I would appreciate discussing in greater detail what exactly you experienced during the actual absorption of energy.
It's not like there's much to experience. Sure, we can talk about that later, but where is Zach and Kara? As if on cue, the two of them appear, holding bags filled with what I assume would be whatever loot they've
Don't mind us. We just went on a little all-you-can-grab treasure buffet.
She grins and opens her pouch to hand something to
Here,
Amy.
I found this.
She hands Amelia an ancient tome.
I figured you might be interested in this sort of thing.
Amy carefully turns the pages of the book with great interest.
This is written in ancient Gaian script, a language of which I have studied, but of which I am not fluent.
You're just not gonna say the last of it? It will take me some time to translate it using my references, but the content should be most academic. She smiles at Kara.
Thank you.
Kara pats her on the head.
You're most welcome.
A rumble above interrupts us, so we all tense up and go to alert, but no rock slide occurs this time.
It looks like we got everything we need from here. Let's head out before another cave-in blocks our exit.
We all agree. And still on high alert, we make our way to the temple as quickly as we can. We make it out of the temple and back into the forest. The sunlight shimmers through the trees, making me wince and blink. Leanna lets out a deep, relieved breath.
We made it.
We made it.
Now that we have successfully made it through the temple, let us not forget our purpose for coming here.
We look at Amelia with curiosity. She gestures to me.
His energy reading has increased substantially. Perhaps it is now possible for him to open a temporal rift.
And now we save Hazel, because I have a feeling I'll have an option again. You want me to try that now? A grin spreads across Amelia's face.
Indeed.
This place is pretty barren. I suppose we could try it here. Kara blinks.
Oh, you're doing that again.
She shuffles away and away and away until she's behind a tree.
Keeping watch again?
You know it.
That creates a bit of distance too, but not as much as Kara. Leanne and Amelia look at me.
Are you ready?
Kara's voice is far away.
Wait!
She races back, scoops up the pongo, and gives a little squeak of protest, and then spirits back to her tree. Finally, she gives a thumbs up.
Okay, good to go.
All right, let's try it. Just do what you did last time, except now you can focus and channel your energy.
Amelia, who's standing beside her, nods. I close my eyes and try to focus on creating a rift. I bring up my mind the images of what I saw when I first entered Terra. I inhale and exhale slowly as I try to draw on that peace I felt when I met the Earth Elemental. I remember the scent of wildflowers, the fluttering of birds, the creaking of trees. It fills me with a soft, gentle calm that spreads throughout the rest of my body. An odd, tranquil stillness fills my mind.
Keep going. Visualize your cast.
My brow furrows. I see a dark shape peeling away at the sky, and suddenly a hot surge of energy flashes down my arm. There's a loud crack followed by a hiss. I open my eyes. A churning wind pours out of my manipulator and swirls around the dirt and grass, and the trees groan and sway. I try to keep the wind stable, but it's just too strong. The muscles of my arms strain with effort. The wind whips out Leanna's hair and clothes. My cast is more powerful than before, but still unrefined.
You are nervous and panicking. Ease your mind and calm yourself.
Right, don't panic, don't panic. My heart lurches, anxiety coils in my
You
stomach.
may stop now.
I do as she says. The wind snarls and smooth as a gentle breeze. The last of it skims off the grass and vanquishes quick as a butterfly's flutter. My arm dangles at my sides. They feel as if they're being pulled down by heavy weights. I take a deep breath and my heart is still pounding. I cringe and look up at the two. How did I do? Leanna hesitates.
That was
Wind
A
magic.
failure.
Thank you.
Amelia!
Leanna blinks in surprise.
Is that not what you were going to say? He was unable to create the rift.
Leanna sighs and crosses her
He
arms.
did better than his first try. He actually cast something this time.
Amelia blinks again.
I see. I suppose there was some improvement.
She taps her chin in thought.
I believe your magic training should involve bettering your accuracy and honing your focus. At this point, we are still unsure if the inability to create the rift is from your lack of energy or technique.
Technique! Right. I pop into defeated sides. It seems that I still have a long way to go.
Hey, where did Zach go?
I look up and Zach isn't anywhere in sight. That's weird. I glance around. Deep in the forest, I see a rustle of something black. I squint. Maybe it's Zach in a trench coat. I zero in at Zach and Kara, peeking behind the same tree. Hey, who did you all the way back there? Zach's voice is
You
faint.
couldn't control it. No way was I gonna stand there if you went splat. This coat is not easy to clean.
Wow, the confidence. My jaw gives a little tweak. Thanks for the confidence. Kara grins and claps her hands. She shouts for us to hear her.
You put on quite the show. Glad I wasn't there for it, though.
Leanna frowns.
Okay, it's done now. Can you guys come back?
Kara skips over and Zach follows with his arms crossed.
So, where to next?
According to Alderison's notes, Ellendale is the closest city located to where the ancient people worshipped the air elemental.
The air
I
elemental.
believe we will be able to uncover more information from the library there.
Kara smiles and ruffles Amy's hair.
Sounds great, Amy.
Amelia flushes. She coughs and glances away.
Let us be on our way.
We hike out of the forest and find a new path. Amy leads us north, and we begin traveling on foot for the rest of the day. My legs ache, and by the time the sun starts to disappear, I'm ready to collapse. Maybe I'm still feeling the effects of trying to cast earlier, but all of this walking is making me even more exhausted than usual. We keep walking until we find a good campsite. Leanna says the large open space would be a good place for me to practice my wind magic in the morning. Amelia sparks a small campfire for us. Zach cooks up another delicious dinner, and by the time I'm done, I can barely keep my eyes open. The rest of the group is still up and talking, but as soon as I lay my head down, I tumble into a deep and fast sleep. The next day, Leanna and I get up bright and early. We decide to practice sparring before the others wake up. Our swords clash, and a score of heavy blows. Leanna forces me backwards, and a huge grin on her face. I am breathing hard and struggling to keep up with my brows knit in concentration. Leanna sweeps my blade aside and comes back around, but I swing in time to deflect it. Her face brightens as she seems pleasantly surprised.
Wow, that's great! You're getting much better.
Really? Leanna's grin turns devilish.
Yeah!
Oh god. She lunges in a little sharp cry, barely raising my sword in time. Her movement quickens and she strikes harder. I struggle to keep up, but I manage to hold my own. Ultimately, Leanna's final move knocks me to the ground. I groan, blinking up in the sky. It's hard to breathe, and the wind knocked out of me. Our spars always going in like this? Leanna's face appears over mine. She smiles brightly.
That was so much better.
Doesn't feel like it. I lost yet again.
This time. But you're getting stronger and stronger every time.
That cheers me up a little. Leanna extends her hand and helps me up.
Let's switch gears. You've been doing really well with sparring, so we should practice your magic training. You need to learn to refine your cast.
I know she's right, so I nod. I'm feeling more confident about it now that I know I can cast. I think back on the countless previous training sessions and the frustrations that come with it. Even though I know I still have much to learn before I can reach anywhere near Leanna's level, I'm just glad to be past those early stages.
Alright, practice channeling your energy through your manipulator. And this time, keep your focus on where you want to cast.
Skirts and updrafts go perfectly together. The temptation is not strong enough. I think of a great idea. I take a deep breath and focus on the energy coursing around me. A cool trickle of magic surges down my arm. The pongo wriggles around, trying to get back to the unholy ground.
What are you doing?
The longer the pongo stays in the air, the more concerned he becomes and the harder he struggles. Hey, hold
Don't
still.
drop him!
I try to keep him steady, and the more the pongo panics, the more difficult it is for me. I concentrate and keep control. Sweat beads down my face as I try to keep the pongo afloat. Leanna rushes over closer, and I lose my conversation. The pongo falls in the air and lands right in Leanna's outstretched arms. Leanna cuddles him close.
Don't worry, I've got you.
Once the pongo calms down, Leanna lets him go. He hops out of her arms and back to the ground. He does the experimental bounce to make sure he stays in the grounded and then jiggles happily. She does not look happy with my decision. Leanna smiles, the pongo shuffles off and then turns to me. Sorry.
Maybe we should pick something more suitable for you to practice
I
on.
should have done the rock. I just thought the pongo thing because earlier in the beginning she floated a pongo. Leanna looks around and points at a large
Try
rock.
again on this rock.
I take a deep breath, clearing my mind, and I cast again. A solid gust of wind bursts forth as I steadily float the rock in the air. Leanna claps her hands together and a wide grin on her face.
Yes, that's it.
Hey, I'm doing it. The pongo glances at the floating rock curiously. In one motion, he jumps right onto the rock. Okay, now it's okay, you fucking asshole. The movement startles me and the rock jolts in midair. The pongo wobbles precariously and I can feel the nerves set in again as I fight to steady the rock.
It's okay. Don't panic. Just keep your focus. Try to float them towards you.
Alright, it's heavier now, so I should adjust my energy output. I breathe in and out and refocus. The rock stops swaying.
Good. Keep going.
A strong breeze whips around the pongo, keeping him in place. I close my eyes and picture him floating
You
closer.
got this.
I open my eyes, the rock and pongo floats closer and closer. Although a huge grin blooms across my face. It's working! Pongo jumps from the rock and onto my head. As soon as the pongo touches me, I lose my concentration and drop the rock. Leanna giggles.
Great job.
The pongo wiggles on top of my head. Thanks for being a good sport. Leanna giggles and I pat the pongo.
I think that's enough training for today. You've made great progress.
Thanks. I can feel the fatigue starting to set in, and I'm grateful for Leanna for ending the session.
Let's go rejoin the group.
Yeah, they should all be awake by now. Leanna nods, and the three of us return to camp. As I predicted, everyone else is awake and have breakfast prepared. After we eat and clean up camp, we resume our journey. After a couple of days' travel, we continue to journey along the path, and when I notice the thick clouds darken the sky. Currently, in a cast word glances above as a loud crack of thunder roars.
This does not look promising.
We should find shelter. We don't want to be caught in this storm.
Amelia cross-references where Wait, where we are with Elraison's notes.
We are still quite a ways from Ellendale.
Then we'd better stop at the next city we see.
I think I have an idea of where we are. If I recall correctly, Wolfston should only be a few hours travel. We can stop there.
Wolfston? I don't want to be eaten by wolves. Once agreed, we pick up and pace to combat. Wait. Pick up the pace to combat the strengthening wind, whipping at us and making a course for Wolfston. Eventually, we see the tall towers of Wolfston. We shuffle through the city gates, casting worried glances at the ominous sky. The turbulent clouds don't look any less threatening. Now, why is there boards, like, protruding from all the roofs? And why is there a pile of lumber? I'm very confused. People keep their heads down as they push past each other on the streets. They must be looking for shelter from the storm. I look up at the surrounding buildings. Most of the storefronts, which blend into each other, are trying to stay as inconspicuous as possible. As we travel deeper into the town, a few opulent buildings loom in the sky. I guess that's where the better half lives. Leanna shifts uncomfortably.
Is it just me, or are people staring at us?
Looking around, I notice all the furtive glances towards Leanna as people give us a wide berth in passing.
No, they're staring at you.
Zach's comment makes her even more anxious. I step closer to her and try to block her from view. She blinks in surprise and gives me a small smile.
Thanks, but I'm not sure how much that will help.
Hey, it'll fucking do something. Maybe it'll discourage him from staring.
When you remember what kind of town Wolfston is, it's no surprise everyone is staring at her.
I give Kara a questioning look. And what sort of town is it?
Let's just say that what happens in Wolfston stays in Wolfston.
That does not sound promising. Leanna covers the sigil in her manipulator with one hand.
Maybe this isn't the best place for me to be advertising that I'm a part of the Mage Guild.
The police. Zach nods.
Agreed. You're making them nervous.
The stairs remind me of when I first arrived in Meadow Hill. Should we find you a change of clothes to blend in more?
That is a satisfactory suggestion, but perhaps it should be executed without the presence of Leanna. The longer she is in the streets, the more attention she draws.
Good point. Let's hurry up and find the inn. Leanna can stay there, and I'll help her find a more suitable outfit.
As the wind picks up, more people creep out of the shadowed alleyways as they seek shelter. I instinctively check my pockets. Something about this place has me on edge. Leanna is equally anxious. While Amy's expression doesn't change, she does seem a bit more alert than usual. Only Zach and Kara seem unaffected. Before long, we reach the inn. I let out a relieved breath as the fire crackling in the hearth warms me. Kara and Zach go to secure us rooms and food as the rest of us sit down in a secluded back corner. Although the lobby is full of people, it is more quiet than the other inns we've frequented. Most patrons drink alone, and those in groups murmur softly, trying not to draw attention to themselves. We aroused a few curious glances as we walked in, but once we shuffled out of sight, people relaxed and forgot about us. The silence grows stifling as both Leanna and Amelia wait for the rest of the group to come back. As I am wondering what I should say something to Leanna, if I should say something, Leanna addresses Amy.
There's something that I've been wondering since Hearthpoint, but I haven't had a chance to ask.
Amy shifts her attention to Leanna.
Your mother mentioned that it's taken you a while to get a field study approved.
Yes, that is correct. I understand that such things take time as professors want to ensure the study is a proper fit for the student, but I will admit that I am beginning to become impatient.
She sighs.
Was the process for your field study equally taxing?
Leanna shakes her head.
No, I actually got the first one I applied for.
Amy blinks and her eyes grow wide.
You were accepted upon your first application?
Yeah.
She stares at Leanna.
Maybe the process is different for Mage Knights and Mage Casters.
Amy continues to stare. Leanna looks at me and I shrug.
Amy?
I do not understand.
They're trying to shelter
I
you.
have completed all the prerequisites necessary to apply for a field study. I have even attended supplementary training to increase my potential for the selection. For all intents and purposes, I should be the most ideal candidate for the mandatory field study.
Is it just your professor's recommendation that you need?
Correct, but I have been repeatedly told that the field study is not a good fit for me.
That's some shit. Lena rests her head in her hand and she thinks,
Do you think it has something to do with your age?
probably. Amy frowns.
My age should not be an eligibility factor. I have proven myself to be capable enough to study as a mage caster.
This is pretty strange. And they haven't given you a specific reason why you keep getting declined?
Amelia shakes her head.
I am quite perplexed by the situation, especially now that I understand my difficulties are not standard.
I can feel the frustration behind her words. It sounds like the Academy has it out for her, and I think she's the only one. She's only just started to realize that she's been treated differently. I'm not so convinced they aren't treating you differently based on your age.
How do you reach that conclusion?
Well, they're being vague about their reasons for rejecting this, which sounds to me like they don't have a good reason other than they don't think you're ready to go out on your own.
How can I prepare to be independent unless I am given the opportunity to venture out independently?
That's a valid point and a common dilemma where I come from too. I'm not saying I agree with what they're doing, that's just what I think is happening. Amy looks pensive as the conversation dies down. Kara and Zach soon return with bowls of food, which they quickly eat as we push our empty bowls away. Kara drops a key in Leanna's hand.
Okay, so here's a key to our room. You can go upstairs and lay low for the rest of the night. I'll go check the shops and grab an outfit for you.
She winks at Leanna.
Don't worry, it'll still be cute.
Zach silently hands me a key for our room. What about the storm?
Oh, I'll be okay. Zach will come with me.
Zach crosses his arms.
I didn't agree to this.
Kara feigns her.
You mean to say that you would let a young woman venture outside into the storm, in the middle of the night, in a dangerous city all on her own?
Yes. Zach's eyebrow switches when he tries to remain steadfast.
Guilt tripping me won't work.
Who knows what sort of ruffians are walking the streets as late? If they were to get the jump on me, then...
Okay, fine. I'll go with you. Jeez.
He pushes himself to his feet and Kara grins wide.
I knew you'd come around.
I'm only doing this so you can't blame anything on me later.
Kara smiles and drags Zach with her as they head towards the door.
We'll be back soon.
We watch them exit in silence.
Well, I'm gonna call it a night.
As will I.
It's getting pretty late, and the thought of a real bed is very tempting after all the camping so many nights. I think I'll turn in too. Together we head upstairs and split into our separate rooms. Is there really a purpose to getting her another outfit if we're just gonna leave tomorrow? I relax in my bed for a while, enjoying the peacefulness of the night as I wait to fall asleep. The Pongo mysteriously emerges from somewhere and hops onto my bed. He bounces over and leans against me before finding a comfortable spot on my bed to sleep. I'm not sure how much time passes, but I eventually hear Zach return to the room and go to bed. I fall asleep not too long after. God, I'm gonna pass out to that song now too. My footsteps in the hallway pull me awake. Blinking my eyes, I look around and the sun struggles to shine through the overcast sky, making it hard to determine just what time it is. Judging by the noise from outside, I'm guessing it's well into late in the morning or early afternoon. Zach's bed is empty while the Pongo snores softly by my feet. He wakes up as I carefully crawl out of bed after blinking bleary eyes. He grins widely.
Hi!
Good morning. Or I guess good afternoon. Yawning widely, I push myself completely out of bed and get ready for the day. For once, we don't have an agenda we need to follow while in this town. I wonder what the others are up to and what the city has to offer. Ready to go downstairs? The Pongo shies away and buries himself in my blankets. That's a weird reaction. You don't want to go exploring today? The Pongo shakes his head. Whatever. I shrug. It's not like it really makes a difference if he comes or not. He'll just disappear again anyways. Yeah, exactly what I'm thinking. It's like he's just gonna vanish regardless. Leaving the Pongo alone, I exit my room and head for the stairs. For the stairs. Before I reach them, I hear a strange noise coming from above. Is there an attic in this place? Investigate. I tiptoed towards where I heard the noise and pulled down a staircase already lowered. As I begin to climb up, as I get closer, I recognize the noise in a series of hushed poise. Oh my god. Are you kidding? It's just like the poise ceases as I poke my head up into the attic. Sitting in front of a card table is a large Pongo, and the pudgiest Pongo I've encountered yet are wearing a three-piece suit and sporting a pencil mustache. A cigar hangs from his mouth. Two Pongo thugs sit on either side of the table. Shit. They all freeze and stare at me. Too shocked to react, I stare back at them. After what feels like an eternity, the pudgy Pongo lowers his cigar. I better get out of here before he makes me a boyfriend. I can't refuse. Oh my lord. Excellent. I love it. And I'm so glad I went to investigate that. The whole episode. The whole episode is gonna 100% better if not for that right there. Silently, I lower myself out of the room and I quickly head down the stairs. I think I know why my Pongo didn't want to leave the room today. I think it's best to pretend that that never happened. Shaking my head, I go downstairs to the lobby. The lobby is as busy as it was the night before, with the same number of people filling the tables. I spot Zach exactly where I'd expect him to be, right in front of the bounty boards. Kara nurses a drink alone on one of the tables, but I don't see Leanne or Amy anywhere. Bet Leanne in the room. Leanne seemed pretty nervous last night. I wonder if she's still in her room. Making my way back upstairs, I knock on the door. After a moment, her voice calls out.
Who is it?
It's me.
Oh, hey.
There's a silence as I wait for her to open the door, but she doesn't. Is everything okay?
Yep. Everything's fine.
Okay. She sounds really distracted.
Sorry, I'm a little busy right now. Amy and I are kind of in the middle of something. Do you think you can come back later?
Ah, so that's where Emily is too. Sure. Sorry to disturb you. She doesn't answer. That's kind of weird. I hope she's annoyed with me. I better leave her alone for now and check her later if I have time. Sure. I plop down to the table across from Kara. She raises an eyebrow and says, "Hey, Kara."
Hey.
She looks at me as she takes a sip of her drink. Got any exciting plans for today? She shrugs. Yep, same here. There's gotta be something more exciting to do. What do you think? A sly smile spreads across her face. She throws back her drink and slams the empty mug on the table.
I think I know exactly what we should do.
I'm not sure I trust that look. What does she have planned? What do you have in mind?
We're going to go gambling.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's fucking do it. I've been lucky so far, and I don't think that life's going to run out anytime soon. I'm in. Kara nods
I
immediately.
had a feeling you'd like my suggestion. Let's go then.
Let's fucking do it. Hell yeah. I followed Kara out of the inn. The streets are deserted as clouds roil overhead. I glance cautiously at the sky, but Kara remains unconcerned as she surveys the shops along the streets. Finally, she stops in front of a gaudy building. Bright crystals illuminate the signs as they flash distractingly on and off. This place sticks out like a sore thumb. Kara grins as she pushes open the doors. Ooh. I think this place looks familiar. I follow her in, blink as my eyes adjust to the dim room. Even if I hadn't known where we were going, I would have instantly recognized this place as a casino. Half of the room is lined with flashy slot machines powered by mini crystals, while the other half is filled with tables. Both players and onlookers of the crowd at the tables. In fact, the casino is packed with people. Clearly, the storm is not enough to keep these people from their games.
So, see anything you like?
She gestures at the tables. You pick. She weaves among the tables, taking cursory glances at each game before deciding.
Have you played Shadow Knaves?
Never even fucking heard of it. Let's do it. How do you play?
The goal is to reach a numerical value of 21 with the cards you're dealt.
Blackjack? Cake.
You'll start with 2 cards, and you could choose to add cards or stand depending on what you have.
Shadow Knaves. That's blackjack. Oh, I know this game. We have a version back up.
Perfect. Then you'll be a pro. Ready to play?
I'm ready to win. In response to sit at the table and place my bet, Kara grins and does the same. After the remaining seats at the table are filled, the dealer begins the first round. He slides 2 cards face up. Although the numbers look the same, the suits of these cards are unfamiliar. I have what looks like a 7 of crystals and a 9 of swirly dots. 7, 9, 16. I look around my table, the credit is 18, 13, 7, and 20. Fuck it. My cards only add up to 16, no way away with that hand. Hit me! Dealer flips over another card to reveal a 5. Hell yes! Nice! We busted and I win this round. Kara somehow is a blackjack master and pretty much kills every round. Some and scowls. Wait, everyone. Some of the scowls on the other patrons deepen, and I'm glad I'm not a part of the game. They do not look happy at losing all that money. I browse a few of the other tables and recognize terror versions of craps and roulette. It's funny how we have fairly similar games, although I suppose not too unexpected considering they're fairly similar words. Gambling is gambling. I return to the blackjack table just in time to see Kara abruptly stand.
Time to go.
What about trying? Kara has a grin plastered in her face and she shakes her head.
Maybe next time, but I think we've had enough gambling for one day. It's time to cash out.
Not even one more?
Really, it's about time we get going. Trust me.
You fucking cheated, didn't you? She doesn't seem like she'll let it up. I shrug and follow her. She fucking cheated. After cashing out, Kara hastens out of the casino. I jog up to catch her. Something weird is going on. What was that all about? You fucking cheated. Why were you in such a hurry to leave? She smiled
It was
innocently.
just time for us to go.
You cheated. Uh-huh. You were totally into something shady, weren't you?
I don't know what you mean.
Uh-huh. Sure, I bet you were cutting cards. Kara blinked.
Oh, you noticed?
Wait, what?
What?
That's cheating. You were cheating.
I like to think I'm just using a skill set to up the odds in my favor.
That's a crime. Most people can't do that, though. It's stacking card. It's just stacking the odds unfairly, which is against the spirit of the game. Besides, you're stealing money from the business when you do that.
I can think of a few people who can better use that money.
You mean like orphans? Oh shit. I shouldn't have let that slip. Kara whips her head around and stares at me with wide eyes. More specifically, those orphans back in Stonecrest.
How'd you know about that?
I saw you there. I wanted to share my money with them too. Your expression softens.
You gave them money too.
Of course I did. I nod. I felt bad.
Yeah. They were just trying to survive in the only way they knew how. I thought if I shared my reward with them, maybe they'll find a way where they won't need to steal again.
Well, now I feel guilty only giving a portion of my reward. She laughs.
Your heart was in the right place.
So, what do we do now? Mischievous grin spreads across her face.
Let's go to another casino.
No. I laugh as we only be trouble. I follow her to another casino where we go through the same routine. After winning big again, we part as I head back to the inn. What time is it? Ooh, that's 33 minutes in, and that is where we're gonna leave it off for next time.